Friends, today we will discuss about SQL inner joins. We have already discussed about what are joins in one of our previous video, and today we will specifically discuss about inner joins. So let's start. So we have already seen that a join clause is used to combine rows from two or more table based on a related column between them. So most of the time it is not possible to fetch the data from one table only, and it is required to join multiple tables and get the required or desired data. And there are many types of joins: inner join, left join, outer join, full join, natural join. But today we will focus only on inner join. And the inner join keyword basically selects records that have matching value in both the tables. So there are two tables, and inner join basically records all the values which are matching in both the tables, and if there are any rows which are not available or not present in the another table, then all those data is discarded in the final output. And a join without any other join keyword like inner, outer, left is an inner join. So if you are using join, then by default it is inner join. So both can be used interchangeably and both will be same. That means if even if you are just writing join, that will work as a inner join. And as I mentioned, there are usually two tables in a join statement. We call them left and right table. The left table is in the from clause, so that this will be more clearer to you when we see the syntax, and thus to the left of the join keyword. The right table is between the join and on keyword, or to the right of the join keyword. So this is basically syntax that we will see in next slide. And if the join condition is met in an inner join, that record is included in the data set. It can be from the either table. And if the record does not match the criteria, it's not included. So this is very important, and we will also see a Venn diagram, and then you will appreciate more essentially that how inner join works and how they only provide the record which are present in both the tables, and if there is any record which doesn't match the criteria or which is not present in one of the table, then that is not included in the final output. So this is one picturesque representation to understand how this inner join works. So suppose there are two tables, and these colors basically refers that there is some matching column between between these rows, and like you can see there are two colors, one is orange, one is this green color. There is no matching column for these two types of data. So if we execute inner join on such type of tables, then in the final output you will see that only this blue color data is present, and this orange and green color data will be discarded in the final output. So this is very important aspect of inner join or just join. So this is the syntax of inner join. We have already seen in previous slide. Select star from table A. So this is the left table which we were discussing in previous slide, that after from, the table name that we mention is known as left table. Then we write inner join, and then we mention right table. So this is how we mention the table names. On keyword is used after we name the right table, and then we mention that there is one common column using which we are joining these two tables. So from table A name is coming, and from table B also the name is coming. So this basically table from which this particular column is coming, and this is the table from which this column is coming. So this is the syntax of inner join, and using Venn diagram we can represent it like this. And this essentially means that uh, only that particular data will be included in the final outcome which is present in both the tables, and any data which is not fulfilling the criteria, like there is no common column between that data, that will not be included in the final output. So for your understanding, I have included one video that will help you to visualize this inner join more effectively. Let me play this. So assume that there are two tables in which in both the tables there are two column. Column 1 is having values 1, 2, 3, and column 2 is having x1, x2, and x3. And in the table 2 or in the right table there are again three rows in the first column, 1, 2, and 4, and the second column contains y1, y2, and y4. Now if we join these two columns, then you can see that one is present in both the tables, like it is a common column between these two tables, and we are joining on the basis of this common column. 2 is also present in the common column in the both the tables. But if you see, 3 is present in left table and 4 is present in right table, but 3 is not present in this table and 4 is not present in this table. So when we do inner join for these two tables, what we will see, we will see that 3 and 4 will not be included in the output. So if I play this, they are joining, and this is the output. I hope the clarity that I wanted to give you is there, because you can see that 3 and 4 column are not included in the final output. So this is the output when we join these two tables using inner join. So we will also see with one example that how we can use the syntax of inner join and write the SQL code or SQL query. So suppose there are two tables, one is a product table and one is category table. So in each category there can be multiple products, and if we see this table, there are product ID, product name, category ID, and price. So there are three product IDs which are mentioned, and if you see, like, these two product names, they belongs to same category, and there is one more table, category ID, and category name is there, then description is there. Now we want to join both these two tables, and to join two tables we need to find one common column between these two tables. And if you see clearly, there is one common column which is category ID. So we can join both these tables with the help of this common column which is category ID. So how we will write this category, write this query? So in the final output we want product ID, product name, and category name. This is as per the syntax from, then this is the left table, products, then we will write inner join category, and this is the right table. Product is the left table, category is the right table. So this is from, after from we are writing left table, then after inner join we are writing right table. Then we write own keyword. Then we try to match both these two tables on the basis of common column. So here common column is category ID, and one category ID is coming from product table, whereas second category ID is coming from categories table. And this is how we can write the matching criteria. So this is our final query, and when we execute this query, both these table will be joined with the help of this inner join. And one important point that we should note here is that inner join keyword returns only rows with a match in both the tables, which means that if we have a product with no category ID or with a category ID that is not present in the category table, that record would not be returned in the result. For example, there is any category ID, say 3, say 4, but there is no category ID 4 in this table, then that particular row will not be included in the final output. Or similarly, if we have any category ID, say 5, but 5 category ID is not there in the product table, then that particular row or data will also not be included in the final output. Also, it is a good practice to include the table name when specifying column in the SQL statement. It is important that we should name the table name while writing the code, and that can be like, we can write here, after product we can mention P or whatever name you want to give. Similarly for categories you can write C. Because when you are writing select and you are mentioning those columns which you want in final output, SQL should know that from which table you want that data. Like for this particular example, this is not very crucial because there is no column that we are writing in the select statement which is in the both the tables. Like product ID is only in the first table, there is not product ID in the second table. Similarly, product name and category name, product name is also in one table, category name is also in one table. So SQL is clear that there is only one table in from which I have to take this or retrieve this particular column. However, if there is any column which is present in both the tables, then if you don't mention the table name from which we want to retrieve that particular column, you will get an error. So as a practice, you should always make a habit to name the table from which you want to extract that particular column. So this is the example above works without specifying table names because none of the specified column names are present in both the tables. However, if you try to include category ID in the select statement, you will get an error if you do not specify the table name because category ID is present in both the table. So if you want category ID in the final output, then you will get error because category ID is present in both the tables. And you have to specify that from which table you want to extract this category ID. So now we will try to understand this particular. So let me show you that there are two tables. One is marks, one is class teacher. And we basically wants to join these two tables. And while joining, we should also try to understand but that why we want to join. So there is one table which is marks and there is one table which is class teacher. Now in the marks table you can see there are student names which is mentioned, and they also have marks which are mentioned. And similarly in the class teacher table there are teacher name, teacher ID and subject which they taught. However, if you see marks table, you don't have any clarity that uh, which basically 85 marks किस subject में है. You don't have any clarity. Like if you want to know that Sneha has obtained 92 marks, but in which subject? This table doesn't have this information. Only marks is mentioned. But if you see to solve this problem, you have one another table in which there is subject mentioned against the teacher ID. So now you are clear that teacher ID is a column which is common in both the tables. That means you can join both these tables with this common column. So you have already seen the syntax, and now we will try to write the query. Select, we want a student ID, then we want student name, then we want marks obtained, then we want teacher name, then we want subject. From, so we are interested to join this table with this table. So as I explained you during syntax understanding that after from we write first table which is marks here, and as per the syntax after mentioning the first table we write inner join, then we write right table which is class teacher, then we write own keyword, and then we write the column which we want to using which we want to join both these two tables, and we want to join using teacher ID. So instead of writing the entire table, because you need to mention that from which table this teacher ID is coming. So it's we can also write like this from. So this is one way of writing the query. Now, if you see, there is one only one column, one common column name, which is teacher ID in both the table, and we have not included that in our select statement. So if you execute this query, you will get the output. But there is a point. In case I wanted teacher ID also in my final outcome, and I mention here teacher ID. Now teacher ID is a column which is present in both the tables. Now if I execute this query, uh, you can see teacher ID is coming wrongly. One second. Yes, so basically you should specify the table from which this data is coming. For marks you can write M, for teacher you can write this, then M dot, then here also you can mention. So it is always a good practice to give the alias to the table and use this shorter version of the table, T dot, similarly T dot here. And if I execute this query, there is some syntax that it is showing. So we have used multiple identifier. I think that's the error. So it is also important when you practice your SQL query that you try using multiple iteration and try to see why the error is coming, because only then you will get more understanding and more clarity. So now this is my final output, which is exactly the output that I wanted to have. So we have all the student names and the subject, which is my major target or major objective for solving this problem. So I can also remove this, like I was not interested to know teacher ID, neither I was interested to know teacher name. I was only interested to know the subject. So if I execute again, then I have the final output, which is my desired output. Arjun is having 85 marks in maths. Similarly, Sneha is having 92 marks in science. And similarly, I can see that all the student name is there, and the marks that they have obtained is in which subject is in my final column, which is subject. So this was about inner join. I hope you find the video useful, and if you have any doubt with respect to this video, feel free to ask in the comment section and I will try to respond as soon as possible. We will meet in another video where we will discuss some another SQL important concept or some SQL problems. So we will meet you in next video now. Thank you.